Hey everyone, Reju here with another video. Today we're going to talk about classes. We're going to go through each of their roles, their skills, their weapons, and the playstyle of every class currently available in Eterspire to help you choose which one you should pick. Each class is quite unique with their own strengths and weaknesses, variety of weapons and skills. So let's go through each of them to see which one is for you. Starting with Guardian. This is the tank role of Eterspire. Their kit revolves around damage mitigation, healing, and AoE damage. The three skills in slot 2 to pick from are Holy Sword Rain, which deals AoE damage, Shield Bash, which deals frontal damage, and Taunt, dealing huge, and I mean huge AoE damage along with damage reduction. Taunt is actually the reason why Guardians are one of the fastest classes to level because of their insane AoE range from Taunt. Slot 3 offers Holy Thunder, which deals damage to the enemies generally in front of you with a narrow front hitbox, Celestial Light, which deals AoE damage around you and heals you at the same time, and Retribution Aura, which reflects damage back to enemies that attack you for a short duration. Celestial Light is generally the recommended skill in this slot due to the sustain from the heal and easy farming with the AoE damage. Lastly, Guardian's ultimate skill, Divine Aegis, provides 60% damage reduction and explodes at the end of the duration, dealing damage around you. As you can tell, Guardian's focus on survivability and AoE damage makes them a very strong pick in nearly all content. In Trials, you will be expected to tank using your AoE to clear mobs, and your taunt along with your damage reduction skills to control the boss's aggro. The weapons available to the Guardian are the Bardiche, the Battle Axe, the Mace, Warhammer, and the Wide Sword. Currently, the best weapon ability for Guardian is the Bardiche, providing even further damage reduction. Mace is also not a bad pickup to further increase healing for your party. The other weapons have damage dealing abilities. While do not fit the role of the Guardian, they can be helpful for leveling up. If you are used to playing tanks in other MMORPGs or just wish to nuke half the map with one cast of Taunt, then Guardians may be the choice for you. Next is the Warrior, which is an all-rounder of a class. They have good DPS, but weaker AoE, so leveling is much slower than with Guardians. Warriors provide flexible utility with their slot 2 skills in the form of Battle Cry, which buffs the damage of your party, and Shout, which provides damage reduction instead. Lifesteal Attack can also be helpful for sustain while you're farming mobs and leveling up. Slot 3 skills include Execute, which deals heavy damage, Flame Strike, which shoots a projectile straight forward, and Second Wind, which provides some self-healing, with Execute generally being the favorite skill for DPS. Warriors' weapons are the Broadsword, the Claymore, Halberd, Longsword, and the Trident. The best weapon skill is considered to be the Halberds, granting an attack damage buff for 30 seconds to the warrior's entire party, especially useful for trials. The other weapons' abilities can also be helpful for leveling since they are all damage-dealing abilities, and the buff is not as useful when you're solo leveling. Overall, warriors are highly desired classes for trials with the plethora of strong buffs they can provide, high health, and solid DPS. If you like to both buff and deal heavy DPS while having a slower leveling experience, then Warrior might be the class for you. Third is the Rogue, a DPS class focusing on single target damage. The Rogue's bread and butter is high attack speed, affecting its auto attacks. Slot 2's Vicious Strike provides an attack speed buff, while Blade Dance and Dagger Storm make for decent AoE skills. Although similar to the Warrior, the Rogue's AoE is weaker than the Guardian or Sorcerer's, leading to a slower leveling experience. Slot 3 skills start with Blade Dive, a high DPS skill generally used for bossing. Next is Shadow Strike, a medium DPS skill that provides increased evasion for a short duration and which, while not super useful at the moment, may become more helpful if future boss mechanics are released. Last is Lethal Surge, which is unfortunately not viable in its current form, with the damage increase and duration not worth a DPS loss from even just casting it. Rogue's ultimate is Blood Rush, massively increasing attack speed for a moderate duration. Rogues only have 4 weapons compared to the Warrior and Guardian's 5, the Dagger, the Curved Dagger, Sword, and the Short Sword, with the auto attack speed party buff from the Short Sword being the best weapon by far. However, the other weapon abilities are all damage dealing, so similar to the other classes so far, they can also be used for leveling up. The Rogue's strength comes from its sustained damage due to its auto attack centric kit, along with its lifesteal for survivability. However, it falls short in burst and AoE damage, which affects how people currently view the class in endgame content. But if you like hitting fast and seeing your health bar spike back up from lifestealing at maximum attack speed, then the Rogue might be your best bet. Lastly, the Sorcerer. All damage, all the time. Sorcerers are currently the only range class in Eterspire and the newest. They shine in dealing AoE and burst damage, melting everything in their path. As such, they have a faster leveling experience compared to the Warrior or the Rogue. Slot 2 skills for Sorcerer are Fireball, which deals AoE damage, Frost Nova, which deals AoE damage, and Electric Orb, which, you guessed it, deals AoE damage, and is a general first choice for leveling due to its very high damage output. Slot 3 has Meteor Shower, Blizzard, and Thunder, all large and flashy AoE skills. Sorcerer's ult Arcane Tempest, you guessed it, does a ton of AoE damage. Sorcerer, like Rogue, has only 4 different weapons: Thunder Staff, Fire Staff, Ice Staff, and Arcane Staff, all having some variation of, that's right, more AoE damage skills, with Thunders being the top choice. With 3 different damage skills and an additional weapon ability all dealing AoE damage, Sorcerers have very strong burst damage by casting them all, making them highly desired classes for endgame content, especially since T6, the current highest tier of trials, has 2 bosses. However, Sorcerers offer no utility to the party, being the most selfish class in the game with no party buffs to offer. If you enjoy doing AoE damage, hitting hard, doing AoE damage, hitting from afar, and also doing AoE damage, then Sorcerer is a class for you. Now, some folks may ask, but Riju, what is the meta? What is the best class? Yes, if you ask around, you might hear that Sorcerers are the current meta, quote unquote, and that the endgame is just 3 Sorcerers with a Warrior buffing them for super fast T6 clears. However, this applies only to players that already have all the best in-slot in-game gear that allows for the damage levels to do so. Therefore, for 95% of players, this doesn't apply, and all classes are viable during progression. It's just the meta for players that already have the endgame gear and want to farm faster to make money more quickly. Also, the endgame gameplay loop can change at any time with the addition of a new trial or new mechanic, which is very likely giving the devs level of activity and commitment to new content. Therefore, it is entirely possible that the meta shifts and favors another class in the near future. This is why I think picking a class based on the current metagame is pointless, since the metagame will change. Simply pick the class you like the most, and you'll be able to run all the endgame content just fine. So that's my overview of each class in Eterspire. I hope that one of them stood out for you to give a try. Each of them have their strengths, weaknesses, and playstyles, so feel free to make multiple characters to get a feel for all of them. I personally always play rogues in MMORPGs, and it was a no-brainer for me which class to pick. I hope this video made it easier to pick a class for your new journey into one of the best indie MMORPGs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.